So, licensed marriage and family therapist David Covey from LifeStar joins us now to help us make a little more sense of these social media scuffles. Thank you so much for coming in. Okay, Twitter, people say you tweet a lot, your marriage is going to break up. It's not Twitter's fault, is it? It is probably maybe indicative of something else in the relationship.
Matt, oftentimes people that become excessively involved in the social media are looking for attachment they're not getting in their current relationships. But the negativity of that is that the attachment they're finding in these cyber relationships is a disruptment to the attachment in their current relationships. We often call it counterfeit attachment.
Okay.
I can understand that. I even feel with friends, I'll be talking to friends and enjoying what I see, and I'm thinking like we're like really friends, and then you might see them on the street and they don't even say hello. So you kind of get that false sense of friendship or false sense of relationship through social media. Now, this study says that it happens quite a bit. Have you seen relationships that have, gotten into a rocky area because of social media?
Many of the couples that come in to see me are involved in social media sites, are using those excessively, spend hours a day in front of the computer. We often refer to it as screen time, and it's in lieu of the time they could be spending developing and strengthening their current relationships.
Interesting.
So is this a chicken and the egg conversation? Which came first? Twitter as an avenue for reaching outside your relationship, or maybe if it wasn't for Twitter, you will find something else to reach out that you're not getting those, you're not developing those bonds with your significant other?
I think it's a both. Both and. The use of those social media sites are oftentimes because there's already disruption in the attachment. Other times, starting to use those sites will cause the disruption. I think another important aspect of using the social media sites is going to be the way that it creates duplicity in a person's life. And what I mean by that is the author Brene Brown often refers to it as putting forth our ideal self, the self that we want people to see, the part of us that really shines. But it's not authentic or real. It's not the authentic self. It's just this ideal self. And that duplicity then becomes very incongruent in our lives. And it's much easier to go to these cyber relationships where we don't have to show
where all the ideals exist.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can this pair up with I'm trying to say carpe diem. Compartmentalizing.
Compartmentalizing.
Yes, that's the word. Thank you very much.
Wow. You get the prize.
Where we have, like you said, online personality and our online self online, and then we have our at-home self, we have our at-work self, and so we have different versions of us existing at different places.
Exactly. Yeah, and that kind of practice begins to create shame in our lives. The shame comes from the faulty beliefs that we develop about ourselves. It causes us to begin to lack self-confidence and to create for us fear of getting to know people on a real level, letting them getting to know us, becoming vulnerable with them. We don't want anything to do with that, and instead start developing more and more cyber relationships, and that's what will lead to infidelity and emotional closeness with people we hardly know because they're safer.
So how can we guard our relationships from this kind of attack? Really?
Cyber attack.
That's right, a cyber attack on our relationships. Are there things we should do?
Sure. One of the most important steps is to put away the phone. If you go out to a restaurant tonight, Friday evening, and you look at the couples, you look at, many of them are not engaging, they're not talking, they're tapping on their phones, and so put away the phone. Leave it at home, leave it in the car, leave it in the purse. That's one of the first steps. Secondly is to begin to decrease the amount of screen time that you're having, and when your partner's available, spend time with your partner and leave the electronics alone.
Okay. Very good.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
It's been a pleasure.